Not the national dialogue. The national dialogue has not started. It's going to be convened. that wasn't national dialogue. It was a misnomer. The national dialogue will still take place. When the people of South Africa get together in the way that they should, it will happen.
Mr.
Thanks.
President, I just have a question about this.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Mr. President, the national dialogue is a failure no matter how you sell it. Now, listen, the Thabo Mbeki Foundation, Steve Biko Foundation, Chief Albert Luthuli Foundation, Desmond and Leah Tutu Foundation, F.W. de Klerk Foundation, Oliver and Adelaide Tambo Foundation, and the Strategic Dialogue Group, and many others withdrew. Mr. President, how do you plan to get the entire country behind what results from it if you couldn't even get the entire country in the room to begin with?
Thank you, Honorable President.
Now, I do not want to get into the politics of who withdrew and who stayed in, because if I get involved in that, and let me just say this is not the President's dialogue. The people of South Africa called for the dialogue, and then they said it has to be convened for the first meeting by the President, because embedded in our Constitution, there is that notion that when we talk about nation building, it is the President who should lead the process. Now, as often happens—
Order, honorable members, can we lower our voices?
Now, as often happens, and you're talking here to somebody who was unfortunately involved in a number of other dialogues. You know, we had the peace process in our country when the country was dogged with a lot of violence. A number of South Africans got together and said we should have a peace summit. And when that was held, a number of other people did not participate. But a peace pact was framed, and it helped to bring down the levels of violence in the country. When we were moving forward to democratize our country, I remember very clearly we held a convention for a democratic future, which brought together a number of organizations. Many others did not participate. That Convention for a Democratic Future helped to craft the path towards negotiations. When the multi-party negotiations happened, starting with CODESA, a number of other entities that did not participate, but it still resulted in the caravan moving forward. When the multi-party negotiations happened for a new constitution, a number of parties did not participate. And these were parties of great weight, of real big influence. They didn't participate, but the caravan moved on and finally produced the constitution that we now have. And the process of drafting that constitution was so broad and so inclusive. The drafters went throughout the country to involve a number of South African citizens. So it often happens, we're experienced with this, that when national processes happen, there will be those who will decry that they have not been included, and there will be those who say this is irrelevant, and there will be those who say we don't want to participate, but the majority always participate, and they move the process forward. So in this case, I am hopeful, much as, truth be told, much as I now have nothing to do with the dialogue. because the dialogue is now being led by a steering committee of which I am not a member. This dialogue is now going to be taken forward by those people who believe that this process should be theirs. And all we will do as government will play a supportive role of financing their various activities. And in many ways, that caravan is going to move on, whether people like it or not. And those who may have an inclination to now want to be part of it and join in, I'm told that they will always find the door open. And the caravan will stop for a while to allow them to climb on, and then it will continue moving on. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable President.
I'm told that one of the key principles that the National Dialogue Steering Committee will seek to adhere to is inclusivity, to make sure that as many organizations as possible at grassroots level, in the rural areas, in the urban areas, that will be organized according to sectors, do participate. And already I'm told that those sectors are meeting as we speak. They are finalizing as sectors their own representatives, be it in the sporting fraternity and even its subsectors. It could be rugby, it could be football, it could be tennis, it could be whatever, and various others. It could be traditional leaders, it could be all other sectors. It could be medical, it could be legal. They will all be meeting right now and identifying those who can be selected to come onto the steering committee. I do believe that it might well be a fairly large steering committee that will seek to be representative of the people of South Africa, of various sectors to which our people coalesce around. So the fear that others will be excluded should really be waylaid, because in the end, we want this dialogue process to be as inclusive as possible, and it must be people-driven. It must be driven right from the grassroots level. And people must be able to speak out their own minds. I envisage that in the end, we will have even, and this is what I am going to be calling for and encouraging, that we should even have at universities level, at school level, national dialogue days where young people come together and discuss precisely what South Africa they want to inherit going forward. They themselves must have those types of discussions. And I do believe that the steering committee will organize that so that there should be a day in which people collectively throughout the country get together and have a discussion. We should have school governing bodies getting together as well and talking about the type of education system they want to see. And all this, including the questions that I raised, are matters that South Africans should be talking about and should be crafting solutions around. It must be a people-driven process, not a top-down type of process. It must be from bottom right to the top. That is how inclusivity in the end will be achieved. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.